itself is a cancerous tumor that has eaten into the very fabric of our existence.
It is commonsensical and logical that if it takes a man with 2 legs.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Nigerian justice system has failed the common man.
And the reason why that girl presents her body to that lecturer for malpractice is because she is fully aware.
And in our own education system, corruption is a culture. How can bribery not be a way of life?
Hello and welcome to the Expression Debates, brought to you courtesy of Youngsters Foundation with support from DFID Nigeria and other partners. This youth initiative is designed to encourage the voice of youth and increase their participation in contemporary national issues. My name is Divine Prince Abbey, and joining me in the studio today is
Mariam Junaidu, and I am happy that you could join us on today's episode, which promises to be fun and engaging. It's been a battle of brains, wits, and oratory as 32 audacious undergraduate teams from over 20 tertiary institutions in Nigeria emerged from the regional auditions in Enugu, Lagos, and Abuja to get to this grand finale. It's been quite a journey.
Yes, it's been an interesting journey. We've seen 32 teams go through the elimination series, and now it's the semi-finals where we have just 16 teams remaining. And it's been an emotional one too, because we've seen some amazing team crash out of the elimination series. And that's the way competitions are, right? One team has to win, another that has to lose, right? Okay, so remember, the top prize of 500,000 naira is still up for grabs for the winner. Second prize is 300,000 naira, and third prize is 200,000 naira.
For an undergraduate, even as a graduate, it's not going to be a bad idea to be a part of this competition.
It's a good one, trust me. I'm thinking about it now. I
have
really
to
am.
Go back to school and,
Or maybe they'll organize another one for graduates,
probably.
right?
This promises to be worth your time as viewers get to win cool stuffs too. Right now, we'll go on a short break, and once we return, we'll give you the highlights of today's package. Stay on this channel.
Welcome back. This is the Expression Debates, brought to you courtesy of Youngsters Foundation with support from DFID Nigeria and other partners. Now, this youth initiative is designed to increase the voice of youth and their participation in contemporary national issues. So, what do we have for our amazing audience today?
Today, we have 2 teams debating on the topic, the state governments are not doing enough to fight against corruption in Nigeria. So, since this is an elimination series, each team stands just one chance to make it to the grand finale and closer to the star prize of, wait for it, 500,000 naira.
That's right. Did you hear that? They have just one chance.
One chance.
Yes, to get to that star prize of 500,000 naira. That is a lot of money indeed. But you, as the viewer watching us right now, you're not left out because you stand a chance of winning some amazing prizes. You can join our weekly quiz and, of course, win some prizes. And also, you can join our campaign, I Choose Integrity.
To participate and win, log on to our website on the screen or check us out on our social media platforms for more information.
So the topic for today's debate is the state governments in Nigeria not doing enough in the fight against corruption. What's your take on that?
Personally, I feel when it comes to sensitive issues like this, everyone just leaves it for the president, the federal level. But of course, we are not debaters, so
yes, we're not the debaters.
We can't say much on the subject matter. But before we go to the debate arena, let's just go to the streets and see what Nigerians have to say about this. We'll be right back.
if you should look at what is going on in the country itself now, with what is going on, it kind of make or kind of encourage others to even go into this stealing of money or corruption itself. Because if you look at the others, that the richer, they keep on wanting to be richer, and they don't want the poorer to even close up the little gap that is there. You know, instead of you meeting up with them, they want to like say aspire higher again. Look at like our senators. Can you see what they are collecting as an allowance for about how many years now? Keep on asking the country, keep on asking them how much do they receive. They said they only told us what they receive as a salary, but the allowance, which is about 300-something million, 30-something million, they've not talked about that one. So tell you and I, let's be sincere with ourselves. Can you think with them making laws, collecting that kind of money, and you thought the others who are running the street will be happy with what is going on?
Corruption and the state. If you want to embezzle, the best place to start with is with the budget. And the budget is a public document. It is meant to be what? Made public to the people. The budget is the second most important document of any country, which means after the Constitution being the first, the budget is the second. That shows how important the budget is to the people. Now, what does the budget show? It shows how money will be made, how money will be spent. So, for example, if a government says, I'm going to give you guys good roads, it means it has to be captured in the budget before he can what? Create those things. So if a governor campaigns, says free education for all, free this, free that, it has to be captured in the budget. That is when it will be implemented.
Wow, very interesting point of view there from Nigerians. It's always interesting to watch Nigerians express their views in a very vehement and funny manner.
Straight to the point.
Yes, indeed. But we also need to hear from the debaters themselves, how they argue for and against this very interesting motion.
And today, we are having Tim Bilabi Joseph from the University of Benin and Tim Dakada from the University of Uyo.
Timekeeper, co-debaters, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bilabi Joseph, and I'm here to support the motion that says that the state governments are not doing enough in the fight against corruption in Nigeria. And my first point is this. You cannot remove the speck from another man's eyes when you have not removed the log from your own eyes. The state governments are not doing enough in the fight against corruption because the state government body itself is corrupt. The statistics are glaring. On the 4th of December 2017, the Vanguard online newspaper noted that a court requested the arrest of a former governor of Enugu State, Dr. Shimaroke Nnamani, for alleged stealing of 4.5 billion naira while he was in power as the state governor. Also, let us not forget the case of James Ibori, a former governor of Delta State, who pleaded guilty for a charge whereby he was told that he stole $250 million while he was in seat as a state governor of Delta State. That was at Southwark University, UK. Southwark Court, UK. This statistics, therefore, tells us that the state government cannot fight against a system that it is part of. If the state government is a corrupt system, how does it fight the system of corruption in the states? Also, another reason for the endemic nature of corruption in states today is the fact that there are unbearable delay of payment in the workers' salaries across all the states in Nigeria. The statistics again are glaring. On 26 April 2017, the Vanguard online newspaper notes that despite huge bailouts from federal government, a lot of states still owe salaries to its workers. One of the states is Osun State that owes 12 months. Kwara State owes 11 months of salaries. Kogi State owes 15 months of salaries, approximately 1 year and 2 or 3 months. This is very pathetic. How then can the people who work for a year and not receive the wages of their labor, fend for the family. What do? The result is to go into bribery and corruption. They look for any means, legal or illegal, to feed their children who are at home looking pot-bellied and hungry. Also, another reason why the state government is not contributing in the fight against corruption is the proliferation of ministries, agencies, and departments. The recent of this is the creation of a ministry referred to as the Ministry or the Commissioner for Happiness and Couple Fulfillment. I have never stopped laughing anytime I read that in a paper or on an online magazine. Couple fulfillment and happiness. The true happiness a state government should provide for any family is to provide jobs and to make life comfortable for that family. Another reason why the state government is not contributing to the fight against corruption in Nigeria is as a result of their lackadaisical attitude to the educational system of each state. WAEC reports recently in a statistics that Nigeria has the highest rate of examination malpractice of all the West African countries that sits for the examination. This goes a lot to show you that the states that are spread across Nigeria have schools. Why is there not a change in the corrupt practices if the state government is contributing to the fight against corruption in Nigeria? The state government is also known to misappropriate public funds. We also know of universities, state universities, that are now as expensive as private universities. A good example is Ambrose Ali University, where a total of 400% of school fees hike was registered last year. Protests were made that the school fees was increased from 47,000 naira to a whooping 167,000 naira. This is alarming. My dear friends, you will agree with me, with this seriousness on my face right now, that the state government has done nothing in the fight against corruption in Nigeria. Thank you.
To eliminate corruption will amount to totality of all the human race. This is because there is no form of perfection in humans. Therefore, corruption can only be reduced drastically. These are the wordings of Honorable Yakubu Dogara during the interview granted to Daily Trust on 2nd of April 2017. Distinguished panel of judges, my co-debaters, timekeeper, and the audience. Team opposition are in the House today to oppose the motion that state governments are not doing enough in the fight against corruption. For the purpose of this debate, we are going to buttress a point on how state governments are doing enough in the fight against corruption. According to Transparency International 2016, corruption is defined as the abuse of mistrusted power for personal gain. This includes bribery. This includes extortion of money. This includes other forms of corruption. It is important to note that even in the most seemingly decent countries, there is corruption that wanders around the streets with pride and honor. Nigeria is not an exception. But however, the state government have put the best measures in fighting corruption. What are they? First, the introduction of e-governance. University Dictionary defines e-governance as a system of which e-government does what? Prevents financial recklessness through what? Enhancing good governances by the introduction of the e-permit system, by introduction of the Synidex account, which is the Treasury single account. Just in Gombo State, Governor Duan Kobo said that he has been able to fight embezzlement of funds, siphoning of public funds through the connection of all the state ministries' account to one account, which is the Chief Accountant General. This has fought corruption. The state government are fighting corruption. Also, in Kano State, Governor Ganduje said that the introduction of the e-permit system has enabled him to have ghost workers. This has been able to eliminate the system where salaries were going to ghost workers. He has found a way out through the introduction of e-governance. The state government is fighting corruption. What second? How is the state government fighting corruption? Through prevention. In 2005, majority of 145 countries agreed that one of the measures in fighting corruption is prevention. How does state government prevent corruption? Poverty is the bane of corruption. It breeds corruption. Poverty is everywhere in our country. What about the poor boy in Akwa Ibom State that does not have what to do? What will he do? He will have to engage in corrupt practices. What about the student in Jigawa State that does not have things to go to school? How will he be educated? But let's shockingly, my co-debaters must understand that in Jigawa State, Governor Baduru sponsored over 13,000 youths across the state to be educated. This gives them a good life. In Akwa Ibom State in September 2017, through the Dakada program, Governor Udom has been able to empower every youth in tailoring and other things to enable them have good living. Also, how the state government fought corruption through the establishment of technical bodies. Governor Ganduje set up the Kano State Panel Investigation Committee in Kano State, and has been able to recover over $100 billion naira. This is enabled in fighting corruption. How again has the state government fought corruption? Through the socialization, using the socialization agent, through social media, through the family. The governor of Akwa said that the governor of Lagos State, Mrs. Bolande Ambode, said that the family should be used to inculcate values in the students. Michael Libeda did say that the governor in Lagos State was caught. Yes, he was caught. You put a system does not mean that you should not be excused. He should be persecuted. He put a system, and the system is fighting. The corruption practices must be independent. Also, Michael Libeda has argued that salaries are being owed in Osun State, but just reported in August 10, it is only 10 states. We must appreciate the other 36 states, the other 30 states who have paid salaries. The state government are indeed fighting corruption. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Expression Debates, brought to you courtesy of Young Stars Foundation with support from DFID Nigeria and other partners. Now, this youth initiative is designed to increase the voice of youth and their active participation in contemporary national issues. 16 debating teams struggling, battling for the star prizes of 500,000 naira, 300,000 naira, and 200,000 naira for the first, second, and third places, respectively. You know, I think I have to just digress a little and just talk about what we just seen. Wow. You know, what a round. The first speaker from Team Bilabi Joseph, I don't say perfect, but he was close to perfection. Well, I don't think he was that close to perfection, though. Okay. Well, we'll find out shortly how the second speakers will tackle this subject, how they'll be debating for and against this motion. I'm sure it will be a very, very pulsating round.
All doctors today decide to treat without first of all putting into consideration the need to attack the cause of the problem, the effect would be disastrous. Similarly, the state governments have done nothing or nothing significant in the fight against corruption because the state governments have not recognized the need to fight poverty, which is the first cause of corruption in Nigeria. My opponent here said so many things, but I would still like to remind you that recently, a statistic says that over 95% of Nigerians would accept bribe if given. But I ask a question, why won't they? When 82% of the populace of Sokoto are poor. In Katsina, 74.5. What about Adamawa? 74.1. And Plateau, 71%. And even the vice president of the nation in July 17, 2016 says over 110 million Nigerians live below $1 per day ratio. If truly the state governments are doing these things, whereas people still living below 320 naira a day. Secondly, there is no corresponding agency among the states to fight corruption. The EFCC Establishment Act of the 2002 placed the power to fight corruption on the body of the federal government. If truly the state governments are doing enough to fight corruption or wish to do enough, the question is with which body or agencies? It will be an abuse of my vocal prowess if I join my voice to speak against the truth that the state governments are not doing enough to fight against corruption in Nigeria. Thank you.
Three things never say is enough: the grave, the barren womb, and those who never appreciate their leaders. Now, that is a stand of team proposition. Why? Because they are saying state governments are not doing enough in the fight against corruption. Good morning, panel of judges, timekeeper, co-debaters, and the audience. My name is Ubong Joshua, and I'll be opposing the motion that state governments are doing enough in the state governments are not doing enough in the fight against corruption, with the following points. 1, reward for excellence. Now, reward for excellence is actually a strategy in the fight against corruption, because by rewarding excellence, people will tilt towards hard work and move away from corruption. On 2017 World Teachers' Day, the Ekiti State Governor rewarded excellence by giving teachers 100 million naira. Now, this will actually help them to work hard. It will motivate them to work hard. And it's a fight against corruption. 2, dismissal of incompetent staff or civil servants. Recently, the Kaduna State Governor sacked over 20,000 teachers. Now, this is as a result of fighting corruption because they are incompetent. If the funds are wasted, it's corruption. So, because he sacked them out, the funds will be used rightly. Now, my opponent talked about WAEC. Now, let me remind you that Nigeria is the most populous nation on earth compared to every other West African nation. If Nigeria does something, we are going to be popular when it comes to the number. So you need to be reminded about that. Now, finally, corruption is an infection. The state governments are doing enough in the fight against corruption. But if you are not part of the solution, then you are part of the infection. Thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
I said it. Well, it was a good one. I think the second speakers did justice to it. I love the way they presented their points in a very, very concise and coherent manner. Yeah, it was good.
For me, I think we have a clear winner.
I think I'll give it up for Bilabi Joseph.
I'm not going to say anything right now, but let's just go to the scoring board and see what
you want to hang on the fence, huh? Wow, so there you have it. We've seen the results. Team Bilabi Joseph has just taken this round.
Let me just, I was actually thinking it.
You were thinking it?
Yeah, I was.
But you were sitting on the fence initially.
No, I knew that. A part of me told me they were going to win.
Okay. Anyway, congratulations to Team Bilabi Joseph that's made it all the way to the finals. Wow, what a journey it has been for them, and we wish them all the best.
We do, and don't forget, you viewers are not exempted from all this excitement. If you participate in our weekly quiz, you stand a chance to win recharge cards, and also join our campaign, I Choose Integrity, to stand a chance to win amazing prizes. To participate and win, log on to our website on the screen or check us out on our social media platforms for more information.
At this point, we just want to say a very, very big thank you to all our partners. You made this possible, and we are grateful for that. But till next time, same place, same station, we just want to say we can build a corrupt-free Nigeria in our lifetime if you join us.